You don't enter through the main door. No one enters. The elevator opens directly onto a windowless floor. The sound precedes the image. Dozens of overlapping voices, keyboards firing off commands, screens flashing numbers that never stop changing. You don't understand yet, but you already feel it. There. Every second costs money, and every mistake costs a career. You have no table, you have no capital, you have no name. There's only a temporary badge, and a place behind someone who has survived long enough not to be discarded. A veteran trader looks at you without emotion. He won't see you, he evaluates you. And then, without warning, he makes room. Observe. You think you're there to learn, but actually, you've already logged into the system. Level 1. The invisible observer. You don't participate. You don't decide. You don't exist. Nobody calls you by your name. No one is explaining what is happening. Their role is to watch, sitting behind a desk, in silence, absorbing patterns that seem random, but aren't. Orders are shouted, cancelled, and redone in fractions of a second. Numbers go up and down without warning. And the strangest thing is, decisions are made before any logical justification appears. You try to keep up, and you fail. Because there, understanding is not enough. You need to feel the movement before it happens. You start to notice something uncomfortable. It's not about predicting the market. It's about reacting faster than him. Even without being sure, you observe hands that do not hesitate, anticipatory glances, bodies that move before the information becomes clear. There is a language there, but nobody teaches it. A quick glance between two traders, an almost imperceptible change in posture. A click made 1 second before the screen confirms. You don't understand the code, but he is beginning to recognize the patterns. And that gives you a false sense of progress. You gain access, but it loses any illusion of control. Because the more you observe, the more you realize you're behind schedule. Always one step behind. The risk here doesn't appear on the screen. It happens in your mind. To think that you already understand. To believe that you can already act. This is how the system eliminates beginners. Without warning. No visible error. Just a decision made too soon. To go up, you need to do something counterintuitive. To see without acting. To understand without concluding. And most importantly, to prove that you can see what others see, even before I could explain why. Level 2. The first execution. He doesn't warn you. There is no preparation. There is no transition. Suddenly, the chair is yours. You're still trying to understand what's happening when he takes a half step back. It's not an invitation. It's a test. Execute. One single word, without context, without explanation. The market is open. The numbers are moving too fast, and for the first time, you're no longer watching. You're in. 3. Possibilities cross his mind at the same time. Buy aggressively. Await market confirmation. Sell before opening. None of them seem safe. None of them seem right. And that's exactly the point. You realize that there is no perfect decision. Only decisions that come too late. Your body reacts before your logic has even finished forming. The cursor hovers for a second. Far too long. You click. The sound is almost imperceptible, but for you, it resonates. And then comes the silence. The kind of silence that doesn't exist in that place, but that's what you feel internally. For a moment, everything slows down. His breathing changes. His attention is fixed on the screen. And then the number appears. Profit. Small. But it's real. It's not about the price. It's about what he represents. You executed it. And the system responded positively. You sense something dangerous brewing. Trust. Not built, not validated, but enough to change their behavior. You raise your gaze slightly. Nobody is celebrating. Nobody reacts. Because for them, it means nothing. But for you, it means everything. You gain validation. A silent sign that perhaps he belongs in that environment. But it loses something essential. The raw fear that kept you cautious. And without realizing it, you're already operating differently. Faster. Less hesitant. More exposed. The risk is no longer invisible. It is embedded in your own perception. To believe that the first success was due to skill. Confusing luck with reading. This is how the system tests you for the second time. Not in error, but in the agreement. Because it is in premature agreements that ego enters the picture. And when the ego enters the picture, the remote control slips out. To move up, you need to do something more difficult than just getting it right. Repeat without changing. To perform without emotion. Winning without being convinced. And above all, to prove that first profit, it wasn't an accident. Level 3. The rhythm of the ICIC market. Now you have a role. He's no longer just a visitor, but it's not free either. You execute. Simple, straightforward instructions, leaving no room for creative interpretation. React quickly. Do not lock. Don't overthink it. The market opens. And this time you really feel the impact. It's no longer distant noise. It's constant pressure. The screens never stop. Numbers don't respect your time. And decisions don't wait for you to finish understanding. You realize something essential. The Epincio. Market doesn't reward those who understand. He rewards those who react at the right time. And that time, it's smaller than you'd like. Much smaller. You start operating with incomplete information, fragments, imperfect signs, movements that don't yet make sense, but already demand a response. Your brain tries to keep up, but the body starts to act sooner. Click, cancellation, re-entry. Everything happens in sequence, no room for doubt. You observe the other traders. They don't seem confident. They seem conditioned, as if they'd already been through this so many times. Who no longer need to decide, only respond. And that's what starts happening to you. You get into the rhythm, not because it dominated the market, but because it is being shaped by him. You learn to accept discomfort, acting without certainty, to execute even when part of you wants to wait. And it works. For a while. You're starting to get it right more often, to make fewer mistakes. It seems consistent. You gain autonomy, more space, more quiet confidence from the table. But it loses something important, the margin of error. Because now, more is expected of you. The risk is no longer occasional, it becomes structural. A mistake is no longer a learning experience, it's a sign. And signs are observed. You start to feel it. Closer scrutiny, less external intervention, more implicit responsibility. Now, if you make a mistake, it's your fault. And there is no protection. To move up, you need to prove something that doesn't appear in any report. Consistency under pressure. Not a good trade, not a positive day, but the silent repetition of correct decisions, even when the market tries to destabilize you. Because here, it's not those who get everything right who survive. Those who make few mistakes survive. When nobody is looking. Level 4. The first near-fatal mistake. You think you're ready. The movements no longer seem chaotic. Your timing has improved. Their executions are cleaner. And for the first time, you start to trust yourself. That's exactly where the mistake happens. The market changes without warning. No clear pattern. A movement that should continue. 2. A behavior you've seen before fails. You enter a position with conviction, based on everything you've learned so far. And at first, it seems right. The price is in your favor. Small gain, internal confirmation. It's under control. Then the market turns. Too fast to adjust calmly. Too slow to seem like an obvious mistake. And you hesitate. Just for a second. But in that environment, 1 second is enough. Are you thinking about leaving? But it won't leave. Just a little more. This thought seems rational. It seems under control. It seems strategic. But it isn't. It's emotional. And the system notices this, even before you do. The loss is increasing. Gradually. Constant. You start recalculating. To justify. Trying to find a way out that preserves its initial success. But the market doesn't trade according to your intentions. He only reacts to his position. And you're on the wrong side. The discomfort increases. Breathing changes. Their focus narrows. You are no longer operating in the market. You are trying to salvage a decision that should have already been finalized. And that's the breaking point. Before you react, someone higher up intervenes. A click that wasn't yours. The position is closed. Dry, cold, definitive. The loss is visible on the screen. Bigger than it should be. Smaller than it could have been. But big enough to leave a mark. Nobody shouts. No one will confront you. Silence is worse, because everyone saw it. You were not eliminated, but it didn't come out unscathed either. You gain something new, a genuine awareness of the risk. Not theoretical, not simulated, lived. But it loses something essential, the quiet trust that was beginning to form around him. Now you are being watched again, not as a beginner, but as someone who has already failed under pressure. The risk is no longer financial. It becomes structural within the system, because mistakes are tolerated. No hesitation. To move up, you need to prove something more difficult than just getting it right. That you can cut losses without compromising your ego. Someone who can abandon an idea before she takes you with her. And above all, who learned from the mistake without carrying his fear into the next decision. Level 5. Silent reconnaissance. No one announces their evolution. There is no promotion. There is no explicit validation. But something changes. You notice it first in the details. Less direct supervision, fewer mid-execution corrections, and most importantly, more space. Space to act, space to decide, room for error, under observation. You are no longer treated as an immediate risk, but it's not treated as indispensable either. You are in an intermediate zone, dangerous, because now they expect consistency. Their executions become cleaner, fewer unnecessary clicks, less hesitation. You begin to anticipate movements with greater accuracy, not because he knows what's going to happen, but because they've already seen enough patterns to react before confirmation. And that's what draws attention. Not with compliments, but with implicit trust. Larger orders are starting to come your way. Not directly, not formally, but someone is watching you. And decide that you can carry a little more weight. You execute for other traders, positions that are not yours. A risk that didn't start with you, but which now passes through your hands. This is not visible recognition. It's a test. You gain indirect responsibility, access to more relevant operations, participation in decisions you didn't even understand before. But it loses something fundamental: protection. Because now, if something goes wrong, there is no longer room for beginners. The mistake will not be seen as a learning experience, it will be seen as an operational failure. And that changes the way you think. You start calculating more, to be further filtered, to avoid risks that I would have accepted before. But you need to be careful, because the system doesn't just want someone who is safe. He wants someone who is efficient under pressure. And efficiency doesn't come from excessive caution. It comes from balance. You start to feel it in the environment. Closer scrutiny, fewer interventions, more silent anticipation. Now, when you run, others depend on your decision. If you make a mistake, it's not just your results that suffer, it's the one on the table. And this creates a new kind of pressure, heavier, more subtle, more dangerous, because it doesn't come from above. She comes from the collective. The risk is no longer in the trade itself. It's up to your ability to sustain performance without destabilizing the system around it. To move up, you need to prove something even more demanding. Who is able to handle increasing responsibility without altering its execution pattern? That can operate under real impact, without losing precision. And above all, that can be trusted with more power, without becoming a point of failure. Level 6. The table. Now you have a place. It's no longer a borrowed space. It is no longer a temporary function. It's your table, your screen, its flow. For the first time, you're not reacting to the system. You are operating within it with true autonomy. Capital has been allocated, limits have been defined, and most importantly, responsibility was transferred. You no longer just follow orders. You build positions, decide entry, define output, manage risk, and that completely changes the game. Previously, error was considered a deviation. Now, the mistake is your decision. You feel the difference immediately. Silence weighs more, time seems shorter, and every click has a direct consequence. You begin to operate on multiple variables at the same time. Liquidity, institutional flow, correlation between assets, reaction to external events. It's no longer about an isolated trade. It's about context. You need to understand what's happening while deciding before fully understanding. And this contradiction defines this level. You learn to structure your thinking under pressure, organizing chaos into actionable decisions, to act even when clarity is not complete. And little by little, it starts to work. Your operations are gaining consistency. Your results are stabilizing. His name is starting to circulate, Not publicly, but internally. You gain power, more capital, more freedom to execute, more indirect influence on board decisions. But along with that, you lose any room for excuse. Now, there is no more hierarchical protection. There is no one above to correct it before the impact. If you make a mistake, the impact is immediate. It's visible. The risk is now absolute. Not because you might lose money, this has always been possible, but because now you could compromise the performance of the system as a whole. And the system doesn't tolerate that for very long. You start to feel something new. Structural weight. It's not fear. It's not anxiety. It's the awareness that each of your decisions alters the balance around you. You are no longer an isolated operator. You are an active part of the mechanism. And any instability within you, it spreads. To rise beyond that, if there is a beyond, you need to prove something rare. Control over freedom. Discipline without supervision. Accuracy without external validation. And most importantly, ability to operate with real power without believing that it belongs to you. You exit using the same elevator, without noise, no announcement, no goodbye. The doors close with the same indifference with which they opened. No gaze follows you. No explanation is given. Inside, nothing changes. The table is still working. The screens keep flickering. The orders continue to be executed as if you were never there. The pace doesn't slow down. The flow does. Not hesitate, someone else will take your place. Not because you were replaced, but because the system can never be empty. He doesn't depend on other people, it depends on continuity. And continuity requires replacement. The system doesn't stop. It never stopped. Before you arrived, he was already operating. After you left, it continues operating. Because it was never about you. You were not the operator. You were just another variable within a larger model. A temporary component in a structure that cannot fail. And when the variable becomes unstable, the system doesn't question it. He corrects it. Without emotion, no judgment, without attachment. You weren't rejected because of a specific mistake. You were removed because you became unpredictable. And predictability, that's what keeps the system alive. Outside, the silence is different. There are no screens, there are no numbers, there is no constant pressure. But something remains. The feeling that, inside, everything remains exactly the same. Without you. And perhaps that is the only truth that matters. The system does not require operators. He needs stability. And when someone stops offering that, he simply follows.